Hello, everyone. Welcome to a gloomy Monday here in the Northeast. Hurricane Henri. Do you really like to
Henri.
call it different?
It's French.
Henri.
It's Henri.
I just call it Henry. We're in America.
It's French for Henry. Henri.
Yes, it's just Henry. Henry with a Y I instead of a Y.
It's Henri. Henri.
Yeah, whatever. Anyways, it's a Monday. It's the podcast. We are here. We are here to talk about everything that's going on in the world of nerd. How are you doing, Brian?
Well, Mark, I'm grateful that this hurricane tropical storm did not do as much damage as I predicted. I kept my power through the whole thing. I was so thankful for that. Over 31,000 people did lose power in Connecticut, so I could have been one of them. My neighborhood sucks when it comes to storms. We have lost power so many times this year. I was so happy. I was well prepared. And I think that's why I didn't lose power.
That's what happens. That's what my dad always says. He's like, I'm going to take out the snowblower. And then it never snows.
Yeah. I was so prepared. I got gas for my generator. I made sure, we should do the dishes because you don't want to have stinky dishes sitting in there for a whole week.
Or 3 weeks or whatever it was.
Let's eat up any leftover foods because, we can't warm them up because we won't have a microwave. Yeah. And then it was just a rainstorm, which I'm fine with.
Tropical depression.
Yeah. It made me depressed, but I'm happy now. But beyond that, Mark, I got a lot of news, and but before we get into that, how was your week? What'd you do?
It was good. I told you guys in our chat. I broke down finally. Well, I didn't break down. Claire was trying to give me a surprise birthday present by getting me a membership to the gym.
I want to ask you about that. Yeah, I'm glad you brought it up.
She signed up for it. It asked for the email for the person that's the membership, and she put my email, but didn't realize it was going to send it to me instantly. So she's in the other room, and I get an email from Planet Fitness saying, "Welcome to a new member." I'm like, I didn't sign up for the gym.
I was hacked.
Someone stole my card and signed me up for a gym membership. So I said to Claire, I'm like, did you do something, Planet Fitness? And she's like, oh no, that was supposed to be your birthday present. Oh man. So I joined the gym.
So she got it for you, but you had told us that you signed up for a gym because that you were sick of walking in your neighborhood.
Well, I was planning on doing that anyways. Because it was just getting nasty outside, and I wasn't going to walk outside when it was 900 degrees outside and humid.
Yeah. So
I kept saying to Claire, I'm like, well, I keep not being able to walk because of the weather or rain or whatever. I'm just going to break down and join a gym. And she's like, no, don't join a gym. There's no need for you to join. Don't join gym. Not knowing that her plan was to get it for me for my birthday.
Okay.
So then so it's easier just to tell that story that way in the chat than explain the whole thing and everything. So I was like, I joined a gym. So yeah, so I've been a couple times. I'm not going to do weekends, just going to do it during the week. Give myself some relaxation time. I'm not going to 7-day a week it yet. I'm not that kind of gym rat.
Well, so here's my question. I have questions. Does everybody have to wear a mask in there?
No.
Wow. Okay. Well, masks are coming back in style in different parts, so that's why I asked.
Yeah, it's optional. People do wear masks. I wouldn't be able to walk with a mask on. That's for sure.
No, what are you doing? The
treadmill for now.
Treadmill.
Starting slow, working my way in.
So how many times you been?
3 times. I started Wednesday. I've been Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Do a half an hour walk.
You should really up it, 35.
I'm gonna get there. I'm not gonna go crazy just yet. I'm slowly getting into it. Slowly getting used to going to the gym, going to the locker room, kind of, fighting through old high school traumas.
Are you showering there?
No.
I used to shower at the gym, but
no. I've thought about it.
I would be drenched in sweat, and I couldn't get in my car.
Yeah.
Drenched in sweat. I'd have to shower there.
Yeah. I've thought about it. And they have at Planet Fitness. You go to Planet Fitness in Enfield, right?
Yeah.
So they have the individual stalls, not one big room.
Yeah.
My major fear was that when I went into the locker room, I've never been there. So I did do the little walk around the locker room first to kind of scope it out and see what the situation was.
Yeah. Is it small? The one at Enfield is small.
Yeah, it's small. Yeah, it's not big. It's big enough though. It's nice. They have like the 360 area and the different rope area and the free weight area and all that. But
yeah.
it's a nice little gym. It's quiet. I mean, there's not a lot of people. It's very spread out too. I mean, it's not a big gym, but there's enough space where everyone's not like on top of each other.
I think they probably spread everybody out when they reopened. I'm sure they made the machines not as tight.
The machines are still next to each other like they were. Not machines at all, but I mean, everyone kind of I think everyone just is there knows like if you can give a person a machine like gap kind of.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to be on top of someone.
Yeah, like I don't want I try not to like if someone's on a machine, I don't like go next to them. I try to keep a machine in between.
Right.
There's always that one person that just hops on the machine next to you.
I know. Then you're like, what are you doing, buddy?
There's like 4 machines right there. You can pick one of those 9 machines. Like, why go to the casino when you get the slot machine? It's like there's like 90 machines. Why are you sitting right next to me?
Dude, I don't know. I have I don't know if I told this story in the podcast or not. When I used to go to the gym at Planet Fitness in Enfield, I would go and shower, like I said. And
after you did the gym, you didn't just go there and shower. You actually have a shower at your house. So.
Well, I think when we didn't have that big snowstorm, and I thought about going there just to shower.
That's not a bad idea.
I actually had to shower at work in the gym.
Yeah,
showers. School gym. Anyway, so I shower. I'm sitting down and put my socks on. My
school gym though, that has like the big room shower. That must have been a traumatic experience. I hated it at JFK.
I go to shower as an adult during our big snowstorm, and there's no one in there. So, and they allowed it open to employees to do so because of the snowstorm. So I'm showering, and some old guy, I think he was a teacher. I don't know who he was. Just comes in, butt ass. I'm naked. He comes in naked. He's just looking forward and he's showering, and I'm just like this. I'm like, soap up, hair. I'm out. Like this is. I'm like, okay. I had the place to myself, but there was a chance that someone else could join me, and he did.
No,
but it ties into Planet Fitness. So I'm getting ready. Old people. I go in the morning. It was an old people wrinkle rush. All the old folks.
Yeah.
So. This young guy, he's sitting down across from me on the little thing, and he's drinking water, and he's like, he's got his water bottle.
He's pounding it.
And there's a locker, like his head's here, and there's lockers here and here.
Yeah, because there's stacked lockers.
Yeah, so there's a locker near his head, kind of open. It's a jar, and an old guy comes walking out of the shower with a towel around him. So the guy's here, and he's got his bottle. The old guy walks right up and drops his towel, just dong in this guy's face, just says dong in his face. And the guy, I watched the whole thing happen, and the young guy, he's got his water bottle, and he's doing this, and his eyes just get so wide. And then he just slowly, he didn't want to be like rude.
You want to scare it. He might attack you. Might jump at you.
His dog was in his face, so he just slowly gets up, and he was just kind of like shocked.
Yeah,
just
that's my fear. That's why I go later in the day.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, I discussed that with Claire. She's like, "Oh, when are you thinking of going?" I'm like, "I'll go after you come home from work."
Good, that's a good idea. Younger people are
a good time, so there's not that many. It's a kind of slow time, so
yeah. Well, good for you, Mark. That's great to hear. I like you, I take an hour-long walk, but when it's crappy out, I hooked up my VR, and I'm like, I got to do something. So I've been playing this game, Beat Saber. You're moving your entire body to music, and you're whacking things. Allison filmed me. She thought it was really funny. But you're squatting, you're jumping all around, like you're physically moving. So
I'm not there yet, so
I've been doing that. So that's I don't want to go to a gym. I've kind of made my virtual reality gym in my basement.
I even toyed with the idea of pulling a hustle. I even said to Claire, like before she got me the gym membership, I was looking at treadmills. I was like, I'm gonna go full hustle and get my own treadmill and just put in the basement.
I mean, here's the problem with that though. You get it, you get and then you start going on it, and then distractions happen because it's in your home. Then you start putting it off because it's in your home.
Yeah.
And then it becomes just a place you put your clothes.
Yeah, exactly.
So I kind of feel like, for me personally, going to a physical gym made me physically do those exercises and ignore the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Whereas when you bring it home, there's so many distractions. Then Claire be like, "Hey, Mark, I need you," and you're like,
"I'm walking. Leave me alone."
Yeah, like.
Yeah, here I'm like out. I'm out, and it gets me out of the house too. That's the other thing.
Right.
Especially with all the stuff that's going on. It's nice to get out of the house and just go somewhere for an hour and turn my headphones on.
Escape. Yeah, totally. Like when I go for a walk, it's a nice escape for the hour. You know, I don't care about anything else. But that's great, Mark. That's great news.
Yeah, so that's doing that. And then I started watching Heels on Stars, the Stephen Amell wrestling show.
Two things. Stars, I didn't know existed anymore. And Heels, it sounds like you're watching a drag queen show.
I know, it's a terrible name for a show.
It's a terrible name. Heels.
But that's what they call bad guys in wrestling. So that's what they went with.
Oh, yeah, the heel.
Yeah, the heel.
Yeah, so you're the heel sometimes.
Yes. Yeah. So that's the shtick of the show. So started watching that. The show's good. The open is terrible. Open is very soap opera-y.
Is it a docu-series? What is this?
No, it's a drama.
Okay, so it's scripted.
Yeah, it's a scripted drama.
About what?
Steve Amell plays the lead of the show. He was a Green Arrow for all you DC fans out there. So he runs a wrestling company down in Georgia, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Duffy, Georgia. Duffy Wrestling League was the name of the place. And it was his dad's company, and his dad passed away, left him the wrestling company, and it's a very small wrestling company, and he runs it out of like a barn. And it's like his younger brother is in it, and his younger brother is like getting a shot at the big time, but he like screws his brother over, kind of. That's the first episode, basically. Second episode is just like them like dealing with that situation, all that. They're only 2 episodes in. It's very, very recent. But it's just the show's good. The acting's good. Really not much wrestling yet, which I heard it gets more wrestling as the season goes on.
I hope so.
Which is what I was watching it for, because I was like, I want to see how they do this. I want to see how it's done. It's interesting, like they talk about it, but it's more of a drama about like the family situations and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But like I said, the open for the show itself, like they do like a cold open, and then they do a cut, and then it goes to the open of the show.
Right.
But the actual like opening sequence like thing is very sappy, soap opera-y. Which doesn't, like, I don't know. I'm not a fan of it.
Huh.
That's like the only part of the show I dislike is the open. It's like when the open happens, I'm like, oh god, here comes that crappy open. They play like a sappy song.
Oh, that's weird.
And it's all like it's like the shots of the person, and it's all like them like making like facial expressions and turning and.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's very bad. It's very bad. It's really weird.
That's a soap opera move. That's a soap opera move.
The open of the opening like sequence of the show, like tells you who the actors are, does not match the actual show itself.
It sounds weird for a modern show.
It is weird. It is weird, and I almost want to show it to you now, so I can show you how weird it is. Let me see if I can find it.
You don't even have to use the audio. You can just.
No, I know. Yeah.
Kill the audio and just show me the video. And okay, we're back.
And
scene.
Yes, so I'm saying, like, if you had just seen after watching the open for Heels, If you had just seen that open without, since you have, you never actually seen the actual show itself, that would
It
not
was
make you want to watch the show.
no, it was very like a modern day. They
Very
used
CWE.
very CW, but yeah, like a modern soap opera feeling to it.
Yeah.
And it was like there were some parts when they're showing, the old photos of the wrestlers,
Yeah.
and that's kind of cool. But they showed a guy putting eyeliner on. I thought that was a weird,
Yeah.
like, why is he? It's a cool shot. Them putting their gloves on, or
Yeah.
there's like
Doing their,
they
yeah.
smacking their hands, you see the dust flying or
Taping
sweat
themselves,
coming
taping
off their
themselves
brow,
up. Yeah.
or you know, taping their dong down. I don't know, but like
I just think it didn't need like a show like that
it was a
doesn't
weird
need a
open.
big open like that.
No,
Like
and
it
what
could
was
just
the
be just
song?
like the song's weird too. The song doesn't match the
But
show.
like to me, it like if this, I want something a little bit more get the adrenaline going.
Yeah. It was
You
very
know?
weird. It's very weird. Because like they'll like do like the first act, like not the full first act, like a first part of the first act of the
Yeah,
show, each episode. And then I'll like stop it at like a point and then like go into that open. And it just makes no sense. It's like it
yeah,
could easily just go with like a Bad Batch kind of open or like one of those shows where it's just like heels. And that's
that's
it.
it.
You don't need
Yeah,
like then just put like the people's names underneath as you start going into the show.
yeah. It was that's a weird open.
It's a very weird choice.
It's like if I saw that, I'd be like, oh, is this show targeted for chicks?
Women. Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
is this a Lifetime show? It felt
Yeah.
like a Lifetime show. That's what it felt
It's
like.
very strange. It's a very odd decision. And
I agree. I agree.
it's very long. It's like 2 minutes.
It's a minute and 44 seconds.
Yeah. But it's like that's like 2 minutes of the show that they like eliminate out of each episode.
Well, maybe they're like, well, we don't really have a lot of show. We need to
It's
really
on
fill.
Stars. So you have like 40 some odd minutes. The show's like 40 some odd minutes episodes, anyways.
I don't
Anyway,
know.
so I started watching that and I started watching just because it's a lull in things going on right now. There's no other really anything going on, no real sports, major sports things going on. The dog days of summer in baseball and everything. And we're not no new Marvel shows for a bit and such. And Bad Batch is over with. I started watching Rutherford Falls, that Helm show on Peacock.
Oh, yeah, is it good?
The first episode is tough to get through. It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's just kind of it's a pilot, so it's very rough.
Yeah.
It's not polished like the other episodes are. Second episode's good, and once like I'm just about it's all as far as I've gotten so far. But yeah, it's good. I like it. It's funny. It's very Ed Helms comedy-esque stuff. The boyfriend from Schitt's Creek actually is in it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that was a point.
I watched the trailer to that. I watched a commercial and it told you nothing. It was just
It tells you nothing.
Random moments. And
Yeah.
me and Allison were kind of like, what the hell was that? It was this like random moment after moment. It tells you no plot point at all. I didn't know.
And the way they sold it was they were trying to sell it as it was kind of Office Parks and Rec-esque, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's totally not like that at all. It's funny. It's good. It's very. It's set in like I think a Virginia town that has like an Indian casino, and it's very quirky. Ed Helms kind of funny. So
I'll check it out.
It's good.
I mean, I remember I watched
It's a time killer.
Mr. Mayor, and I watched like the first 4 or 5 episodes, and
that show was so it had like so much potential, and then just like tripped over its own self, kind of.
I just forgot about it. Like it was good, but it wasn't.
It was just the thing was they pandered. They tried to pander too much. To like I don't know. They were like trying to like hit multiple audiences at once, and it wasn't.
Well, also it looked like they were filming a lot of it during COVID, because it was oddly different things.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked what I saw, but it's one of those shows like I was like, oh man, and then I was just kind of like, oh, I forgot all about it, so it didn't really stick with me. Well, Mark, speaking of sticking with me,
No,
Anything else before I segue into the next thing?
no, but because I know what you're talking about to talk about, I think so.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
So for me, this past Friday on HBO Max, the new Hugh Jackman movie came to theaters and HBO, Reminiscence.
Yes.
And I told Allison, hey, we should watch on like Saturday. We should check it out. So we watched it, and I know it wasn't a good movie when we didn't, after it was over, we briefly said, yeah, it was kind of weak. And
one of those where you both look at each other and go, huh.
Yeah. And the
There's
next
2 hours never get back in our lives.
The next day I said, hey, Allison, what did you think about? What do you think? And she goes, honestly, I've forgotten all about it. She's just like, I didn't stick with me at all. I'm like, me neither. I go, I give it a 3. Like if I thought about Mark, I was like, I give it a 3. It wasn't. It was
something Brian doesn't like immensely.
It wasn't. It was in between good, which was a 5, and just total dog shit being 1 or 0. This was kind of in between there. It was sort of like it had potential ideas.
Yeah.
It was an interesting concept. They took a 1950s detective noir style movie. They placed it in a future
setting.
And Hugh Jackman's character does the voiceovers just like a noir. A woman walks into his office just like a classic noir detective, and she is looking for something or needs something. He can't get her out of his mind. There's something there. There's a mystery there. But
it's one of those movies that was a good concept but not executed greatly.
Yeah, I mean, so the whole premise of the movie is they go into this machine and then it projects their memories, and Hugh Jackman can talk them through it. And they're in a future where a lot of their family members are dead, and basically Florida's flooded, so like a lot of water, like people can just travel on boat, and they go back to a time where life was better for them, and they like to relive that, and
they reminisce about it.
And they, in the beginning, someone asked, well, how can I see myself when I think about me and my dog, or me and my ex-lover, or whatever? And he explains, when you have a dream or when you think about memories, you generally see yourself. So they set the rules, right? This is the first 20 minutes. So they set the rules. You're going to see the actor or the person in their own memory. Fast forward 10 minutes later, they go to a police precinct, and they're doing the same sort of thing to a drug dealer, but the entire time it's in POV mode. And I was just kind of like, they didn't explain that. Like, I'm like, okay, so they just broke their own rule. They're making this drug dealer forcefully have a reminiscence so they can find out this drug kingpin. Where
he gets the stuff from,
and it's in POV.
Well, maybe he doesn't dream that way. Maybe he dreams in first person.
I don't know, but they broke their own rule.
I dream in first person. I don't dream in second person.
And then I don't know, Mark. It was so bizarre. I thought it really
it's like they didn't explain everything.
Yeah. Then they have the woman, this random drug dealer. She is looking directly to the camera. It looked like it was a documentary series, and she's explaining everything to this random drug dealer, basically explaining it to the audience. But it should have been done way better, because it just felt so forced and so weird. Because why would she say all this crap to this guy?
It's like the James Bond villain thing where they explain their whole
at the end
to you, so you don't have to go thinking about it.
Right. And it was kind of a convoluted story. I don't know.
What threw me off from it was I saw the trailer for it was there's a scene in the trailer. Hugh Jackman's in like the reminiscence tank, whatever it's called. He kind of like pulls out of it, and like all this stuff's attached to him. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's gonna play Wolverine again.
Very reminiscent of Wolverine.
So I was like, probably not the best clip to put into the trailer.
Well, I mean, maybe they were like, "Oh, it's going to make
Jack
you
was going
like
to reminisce
Wolverine."
about the time when he was important and it was in Marvel and good movies.
He's in Wolverine, but yeah, it's a definitely a skip movie. I honestly barely
He's
remember
very
everything
hit or
happened.
miss with his movies too. Hugh Jackman.
Well, I mean, what are you
Like
going
The
to do?
Prestige was terrible.
Well, according to you, a lot of people like that movie, though.
Yeah, people are wrong.
Well,
This is a bad movie.
movies are subjective, so
Did you like The Prestige?
I haven't seen it.
Well, there you go. So
I have nothing to say about it. But I mean, what are you going to do? It really wasn't that great.
yeah.
I'm glad we didn't pay for it, but whatever. I wouldn't have seen it otherwise. I would not have gone to the theater to see that.
That's how I'm going to watch Dune. So
I'm excited for Dune. I'm very excited for Dune.
I'm just going to watch it on TV just to annoy the director who like threw a fit this week and said like, if you watch it on television, it's like, no, he was like, it's stupid. You're an idiot. Go watch in the movie theater where it's supposed to be.
He didn't say that.
Basically, that's what he said.
No, he didn't. He was going after HBO, saying these movies should be seen in the theater.
No, he said something like, if you watch it on a TV screen, it's like watching something on something. But I couldn't remember exactly what he said.
I don't know. I'm going to watch it at home. I'm not going to a theater at all.
No, yeah, me either. Isn't it like 4 hours long or something?
No, I don't think so. There is going to be a sequel. So it does. It sounds like they're going to break it up.
Gonna sign up for.
So I beat Mass Effect 1.
Actually, it's not going to be a sequel. He wants it to be a trilogy.
Yeah, that makes sense. There's a lot to it. There's a lot to.
Ugh.
Well, you haven't seen it yet. You might like it. It's a great science fiction.
I remember seeing the original one. It just took forever.
Yeah, but the original Dune movie is not good. It's a tough watch. But the books are one of the biggest.
Oh, that's what he said. If you watch Dune on television, it's like it's like driving a speedboat in your bathtub.
I get that. I mean, King Kong versus Godzilla, I wish I saw in the theater because I didn't get the same effect at home. I get that. I agree with that. I agree. But it is what it is. I don't want to get
your
COVID.
Speedboat in your bathtub. That's it.
I don't know. I don't want to get COVID.
How small is your speedboat?
So Mark, two things real quick. I beat Mass Effect 1. Wow. Game is awesome. It is literally all the science fiction stuff wrapped into one. Jump back into Ghost of Tsushima, the director's cut. Beautiful. I played that all day yesterday, pretty much from 7:30 in the morning until 8 o'clock at night. Oh my god, I love it. And then I talked about that movie. But that's it. I got into volume 3 of Sweet Tooth. I didn't finish volume 3, but so far so good. I'm gonna hopefully finish it tonight. I'm excited to watch the show. I'm telling you. Like I said, I went to hit volume. I'm
excited for you to watch the show too, because I want to be able to talk to you about it.
Volume 5. So in a week or two, I'm going to jump into that show. I'm super excited. Such a great series. Graphic novel wise.
Yeah.
And then I got news, Mark.
Oh, do tell.
You ready?
Yes. Sorry, I'm ordering my lunch for this staff meeting thing I got in. They gave us gift cards to order lunch with, so I got to order lunch.
All right.
I'm listening.
All right. So Boba Fett's ship officially has its new name.
Heard about this.
Yeah. So
not really. I'm gonna debate you on this, but go ahead.
All right. You don't have to debate me.
I'll tell you my thoughts on it.
All right. So anyway, we can go back. Slave One was the name of his ship originally. Then with the Disney Plus series, with The Mandalorian season 2, the fact that the word slave is now in a Disney property, they want to get rid of that and get rid of the name altogether and give him a new name. Well, during I guess this was leaked back in June of this year, a Star Wars Lego set called Boba Fett's Starship caused a stir. That's when people were like, no, it's Slave One. It's not Starship.
Yeah.
So they put out I think it's the new Star Wars Bounty Hunter ship blueprint variant covers for an ongoing Star Wars Bounty Hunter comic book event.
Yes, yeah,
It
I'm excited about it.
Seemingly revealed that Boba Fett's ship's name has been changed from Slave One to Fire Spray.
That's the actually name of the ship. It's the design of the ship. Like that's like it's like Firefly is the name of the class of ship.
It's Fire Spray.
Yeah. But I'm saying like in Firefly, what was it? Name of the ship in Firefly now. I can't think of it.
I thought it was Firefly.
Maybe that's what it was. Yeah, Firefly class ship is what that was. So same kind of thing. Like the Millennium Falcon is like a Krillian class ship kind of thing. So it's like that's what the Fire Spray is, the type, like the design of the ship. You know what I mean? Well, like a Ford Taurus. Like Taurus is the name of the car.
Yeah.
Like that's what this is. Like Fire Spray is the name of the brand of ship that is.
Well, it doesn't matter. That's the name of his ship.
I'm just saying that's what. Yeah.
Yeah. No matter how you slice it or dice it, Boba Fett's a new. I think for a while I'm still going to call it Slave One, just like it's still called Grogu Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
Because we're so used to calling it one thing, it's going to take a while for me to get used to it. But the name Fire Spray makes sense because Boba Fett does shoot flamethrowers out of his wrist, but the ship itself does not. So Fire Spray, I don't know. It's a weird name.
The way the ship shoots its guns, like when it shoots the gun, the tail guns out of the bottom of the ship, that it like sprays. It doesn't shoot direct. That was the shtick of this. From what I understand. I could be wrong. That's what I understand.
I just see it shoot lasers. So.
Yeah.
And Clone War lasers. It shot laser beams. So hey, I don't mind. I think overall it's a nice name. What do you think? I mean,
it's whatever. Like I don't ever remember anyone like calling the ship by its like name in any of the shows or anything. No one's like, oh my gosh, there's Slave One.
In the prequels, they did.
Yeah, that was like the one time, but I don't think any other time there's ever been like anyone that's like, it's not like a common thing where, like in Mandalorian when it first came by, someone's like, oh my gosh, that's Slave One. Like all the fans said that when they were.
We all said that, yeah.
But none of the people in the actual shows and everything said that, so I don't think it's a major.
Yeah.
I mean, I think whatever they end up calling it in Book of Boba Fett, that's what it'll be called.
Yeah. I think that's what they're gearing up for. That they need to have a name for when that show airs, because if they do call it that,
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense. In Disney Marvel news, Marvel's Armor Wars, starring Don Cheadle, finds its head writer. Yes, Sir Lester is on board to pen the series, which will see Cheadle return as War Machine. It's interesting because Lester he's going to be serving as head writer on Armor Wars, the Disney Plus series that will star Don Cheadle. So this is kind of, I didn't know about Armor Wars, and I didn't know he was going to have a Disney Plus series, but I'm so happy he's gonna.
That's awesome.
Now it's funny because Lester was a comedian turned actor and screenwriter. Hold on. He did a Showtime comedy series, Black Monday, that had Cheadle in it, which Lester served as a writer and co-executive producer, as well as starring on the show himself. So I don't really know much about him. He also was a writer. He had writing credits on HBO's Girls and the Carmel. Was it Carmel show on NBC? Carmel. I'm saying his name wrong. Carmichael show. Why can't I?
Oh, the Carmichael.
Yeah, show? He was a writer on that, and a late night talk show, Earth to Ned, which was on Disney Plus last year. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm really excited to have Don Cheadle play War Machine because I feel like that character has always been pushed to the side more than anyone else, I believe. I mean, I think Hawkeye has a bigger presence in the MCU than War Machine.
Yeah.
I mean, War Machine had his breakout performance in Iron Man 2, and then ever since then, he's just been kind of a supporting character that I think this is kind of cool. And it has been officially announced about the Falcon, Captain America 4. Oh my God, Captain America 4 will star Anthony Mackie. Anthony Mackie will be playing Captain America. It's official. This week they announced that. Also planned for Disney Plus series will be this whole Tony Stark's legacy with War Machine, but then also of Dominique Throne's Rhea Williams, who will be taking over the Tony Stark kind of mantra. She's a young college girl in the comic book who becomes the new Iron Man. When Iron Man retires and goes up to space, he gives his suit to her because she was like a genius.
Yeah.
So Disney Plus will be doing a series about her character.
Yes.
And
they announced a while ago. Can we call it Ironheart, right?
Ironheart, yeah.
Yes.
So it's kind of cool. So we got it's so funny because going back to how I don't believe the old Netflix actors or those people will ever be in the MCU, and I don't think there's a reason for them to.
Yeah.
One of the articles that was being shared was like Disney is just like hard pressed for content. And I'm like, no, they're not.
They have tons of content.
This article's bullshit because they're like
they have Secret Wars coming. They have
I know. But so why
Invasion, whatever.
Why would they even need those characters? They got a lot going on. Those characters are never done. Just get over it. People just let it be. It's fine. They existed at one point.
It's because everyone's so stuck on Charlie Cox as Daredevil.
He was good for what it was.
He was good as Daredevil, but people are like, he was so good at it that they need to bring him into the new. It's like, no, they don't. They could find another guy to play Daredevil.
And they're going to want a young person to age with them. You don't want someone who's already old. And also, you're creating the world. You're not going to bring an R-rated Netflix.
But you also don't have any conflicts with like Netflix, say, coming back and being like, hey, you're using content that we aired or helped you produce, so we want a kick back from
exactly. Netflix owns that stuff. So
it's the same reason why you don't get a lot of, which I think you're not getting a lot of like Spider-Man information, because it's like Marvel's like, it's not our show, it's a Sony show.
Well, Mark, I mean,
I did hear about the thing over the weekend.
That's my next.
But before you get into that, did you see the story about the writer who wrote Secret Wars and the Venom comics when they first came out? Was at a con over the weekend and was interviewed at the con, or in a thing at the cons panel, and said, and was asked about, has Marvel, because I guess the thing's been going around with Marvel just paying former writers of Marvel content, just giving them a check for $10,000, being like, okay, this is all you're getting, because we're not going to pay you for every time a movie comes out. We're not going to give you a kickback. We want the rights to the your intellectual property, basically.
Yeah.
Which is all like
when Marvel's.
Yeah, when they worked for Marvel, they all signed off on things. But they're saying, instead of like every time they use Captain America, they don't have to go back and pay the guy who wrote Captain America.
Yeah.
Like a Black Widow movie or Deadpool.
They pay him a stipend.
Right. Yeah.
They give him a stipend, and that's it.
Like, here's like a one-time payment. We don't have to deal with it anymore.
And they're lucky. I mean, honestly, Disney is really stingy. They didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
So I kind of
think nice thing that they're even going back and doing that to begin with. So I guess he was asked at a show, like, have you gotten like that? Because of Venom, like he was the writer and creator of Venom. And he's like, yeah, they just like first off, they like had some intern low level person reach out to me, and like they wanted me to go through this huge contract, and the contract was stupid. It was like a work for hire kind of contract. Like we would pay you a certain amount, and then that would be it for each time we use that character in a movie. And he was like, no, I don't want that. Just like give me. So then, like, I guess a higher level guy, he said, called him and said, we'll give you $10,000. You sign a piece of paper saying you're covered and we don't have to like deal with this anymore. He was like, okay, send me the paper. And everyone's like, oh, I can't believe you just like signed away your stuff. He's like, I had already signed it away when I worked for Marvel.
Yeah, it's there.
But I was editor in chief there and everything. And
Marvel
I was
owns it all.
Marvel owned all this.
Yeah.
He's like, if you're working at a company and you invent something at that company, the company owns that invention.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's
like, nothing new.
It's the same thing. He's like, I invented those characters.
Yeah.
And he wrote Secret Wars. So he's like, I invented that storyline. So it's basically, they don't have to come back and give me any money. They're like being nice about it and coming back and offering me $10,000 more for each idea I came up with to cover me,
Yeah, yeah.
So I thought that was kind of funny. How everyone was like, oh, I can't believe Disney just like, they aren't paying the people who came up with these ideas. And
I look at it this way. It's not my battle. I don't give a shit.
No, it was more just
the writers and them. Yeah.
Yeah, it was more to me. It was more of just like the fact that you don't think the people that wrote those stories when they were working at those places hadn't already lost that is kind of surprising to me. Like, I can't believe that people think like whoever writes for Batman right now, like Snyder, when he wrote comic books, anything he wrote, it's not like
that's different. Snyder. That's a different.
No, what I'm saying, the guy that wrote the Batman stuff. It's like he can go back and like be like, oh well, you decided to make that into a movie. I want to be cut in on the movie. It's like, no, we gave you, when you were working for us, when you wrote the comic book, you gave away the rights to the intellectual property that you made.
Yeah. Yeah. When you make a movie or a TV show or a comic book, that studio owns that.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. So Image Comics was why when people left Marvel and DC, they created Image Comics because they said, when you create a character under Image Comics, you will get to keep that character.
Yeah.
And that's what they've done. So like, Jeff Lemire with Sweet Tooth or anybody else who's getting TV show deals and stuff, they're probably profiting more than Image Comics. Image Comics is profiting because people are now going back to their old stuff and buying it. But you have these creators where they're the showrunner or they're writing for
the thing, like, for I always equated to is like the way that writers make their money, like even screenwriters that do movies, like the guy who wrote like anyone who wrote a movie that's a big movie, the writer doesn't get a lot of money out of it. He gets like the check he got paid to write the script, and that's basically it, unless he's like a famous like big time writer like a Michael Crichton or someone like that.
Oh yeah.
Like regular movie writers, like the guy who wrote Reminiscence, only got the check he got for writing Reminiscence. He didn't get like a back end deal where he gets a certain amount of money.
The actors usually get the back end deal. I mean, I'm sure it's like, if you're a well-known writer in Hollywood, you'll get paid more. But if you're an unknown, you're going to get paid spec, and that's it.
Well, it's like I always joke with that Ryan, and then when people ask like, "Oh, I can't believe all these like they got all these writers to show up at these comic book shows," I'm like, "Well,
they're making money.
Their money. That's how they make a living, is profiting off the books they wrote.
Yeah,
it's having you bring a book that they wrote and they charge you to sign it.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing with the artists. It's like they're not gonna, like, that was just a job that they did 15, 20 years ago. They got hired to draw that one comic book.
Yeah.
After that, they're on their own. They're like freelancers. It's not like it's like, I don't know. It's surprising to me sometimes of the, the thought process that people don't understand how the comic book world works.
Well, I mean, it is tricky because, like I said, Image Comics is different, but Marvel owns those characters, that those
Yeah,
storylines. They own it all. So,
yeah,
I mean, I think a there's a disconnect between sometimes the artists and their art, because
yeah,
in different lines of work, it's owned differently.
yeah,
So I don't know,
yeah.
but yeah. But going into that whole thing, Mark, the Spider-Man No
No
Way
Ham.
Home, No Ham
No
trailer,
Spider Ham in this
Spider-Ham,
movie.
was seemingly leaked over the weekend. Now, let me read a tweet to you, and you'll understand why this leak was, oh boy, it was the cream of the crop. Someone wrote on Twitter, sorry, I'm only going to watch the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer the way Marvel intended me to. A triple watermarked version with an unfinished FX on somebody's phone that is being filmed by someone else's phone that is uploaded to TikTok, then low res ripped and put on YouTube.
Yeah,
That's literally, I did watch part of it. It is so hard to follow what's going on because there's so
yeah,
many screens, so many watermarks.
yeah.
So the on Reddit, I was reading into this. It's a someone who works at the FX place. Their watermark can be found on the original, and then
Yeah.
someone else is filming it, and there's another watermark, and then it's on. It is bad. So, I slightly have the
Basis of the movie.
basis of the plot, which I'm not going to say. But
Well, I mean, it's been spread around a lot. I mean, a lot of people have seen it and heard it. It's not like
well, do you
it's.
want me to say it?
Well, I know what it is.
What?
The that Spider-Man goes and searches out Doctor Strange to help him erase everyone's memory that he's Spider-Man.
Yep. Well, not erase everyone's memory, but maybe put a spell out
Yeah,
there.
that
Yeah.
kind of thing. And it's
And
like
then
no,
that's
I can't.
where antics ensue.
Antics ensue, and then
Yeah.
at the end, Alfred Molina's character shows up.
Doc Ock.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
It was a cool
Which I
trailer.
assume would be that's when the multiverse opens. Is like the end of the movie ish.
Well, we don't know if that's the end of the movie. That's a
No,
trailer.
I'm saying like the last third of the movie, like the third act of the movie is the multiverse. Somehow they get into the multiverse, and that's where you see like Doc Ock and Electro and
I
whoever
mean,
else.
it's a trailer. All that could have happened. We don't know what. And and Tom Holland, like it got struck down by Sony and Marvel. They quickly were trying to get rid of this thing. And Tom Holland went on his Instagram and he just posted words.
It wasn't me.
No, he wrote, "You ain't ready yet." So I think this obviously was probably an early draft of it because the FX was not completed.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they're probably waiting for Shang-Chi to premiere.
Well, I'm assuming it's going to be on the front of Shang-Chi. Like the Spider-Man trailer will be either on that or come out around
that same week online. Yeah. And it sucks. I really want to see Shang-Chi, but knowing that it's going to be on Disney Plus October 18th, I will wait. I will just see October 18th on Disney Plus for free.
Yeah.
And you know what? When Internals, depending if I don't know where we're going to be.
How the world works, man.
I will probably wait for Disney Plus for Internals as well. I want to see Spider-Man in the theater. That's the only one I'm looking forward to, really.
Yeah.
But you know what? I gotta wait till December.
It's very.
I want to see them all because my streak will be broken if I don't see Shang-Chi in the theater.
I know.
My streak was I didn't see Civil War in the theater, and I regretted it.
Yeah.
But I saw from Iron Man 2 with you. We saw Iron Man 2. I skipped not Civil War. What was the second Captain America movie? It
That
wasn't Civil
was
War.
that was Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier. I regret not seeing because I didn't like the first cat. I was like, no,
You
I don't
didn't
really
like the first
care.
one, even though I told you it was going to be a different movie. You're like, no, I'm not going to go. Blah blah.
Um, so that was the first skipped movie, and then since then I've seen them all in the theater. I haven't missed one.
Yeah.
So I just it's not worth it though, because if people are bringing their families and there's kids and people are unmasked,
Which is why the
I
more I
don't know.
think about it, the more I'm leaning towards not leaning towards, but coming thinking of the idea of uh seeing if you guys want to just rent the theater for those movies.
Yeah, but I don't know if anybody's doing that for those movies.
Aquam does it.
You have to look into it
Yeah.
because they might not be doing that now that there are people going there. When would they have time? I don't know.
Look into that about renting on a screening or getting a screening somehow. Setting up a screening where it's just like a group of us that goes to see it.
You can ask, but I right now I'm going to wait for Disney Plus on that one. I mean, the reviews.
I'm the same as you. I don't want to not see it in the movie theater.
Yeah. The previews I read on Reddit, they were saying it was good. It was a lot of fun, and it reminded them a lot of old
Jackie Chan movies.
Jackie Chan movie, which is great. Which I love
the
old
scene
Jackie.
that they've released, the subway scene where he's on the subway and he fights the guy he pulls his coat off. It's basically it's like a shot per shot of a Jackie Chan movie, which is amazing because Jackie Chan movies were awesome back in the day. I used to love watching them
because he did it all.
I used to watch all the overdubbed English versions of all the Jackie Chan movies. And they were so bad with the overdubbing, but it was awesome.
Yeah, but I mean, watching him do that was just amazing.
Oh yeah,
mind blowing.
Where he fights the guy in a hovercraft and he's got a broken ankle and he's got a cast, but he paints the cast to make it like a shoe. And
yeah.
You can watch the whole documentary about the making of it and everything. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He actually runs down the side of a building. The movies now, they do that, but he literally ran down the side of a building without a harness on or anything.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Ridiculous.
But anyway, that is all I got for news. Oh, we watched What If.
Yes.
I really
liked episode 2.
I like this one. It was my favorite one so far. It was so enjoyable.
So you didn't have much of a pool of stuff to look through, but
I liked. These are my kind of characters.
Yes.
And I enjoyed the humor. I enjoyed seeing Black Panther as a Star-Lord.
Yes. Yeah.
I
love the Thanos spin.
Yes.
Where he was the only one that could talk Thanos out of doing what he did, and
Yep.
It was very much a nicely done. Honestly, it was a nicely done tribute to Chadwick Boseman's character. It was a nice way to say farewell to that character. It's the way they structured it, and they made him basically he was the only person that could save the Marvel Universe. Is what it boiled down to. He was the only person that could solve everything. Without him, the Avengers all fell. Because when the Collector's weapon rack came out, it was the Thor's hammer was in there. You saw Loki's knives were in there. Captain America's shield was in there. It was all there. They had the bow and arrow thing for Hawkeye. So it basically said all the Avengers were killed because there wasn't a Black Panther on Earth to protect and help. So,
well, I just love how they took the wrong kid and they're like, "Well, we're just gonna take you."
Yeah, well, we got this guy.
And then at the end, Peter Quill is mopping, and his dad shows up. That was cool. Yeah. I wonder if they'll go back to that ending and give us more on Peter Quill.
I think that's what'll happen. I think they'll do that maybe next year. But the crazy thing is, I read an article because there's the Spider-Man one's coming, where I guess he's the zombie hunter in the Marvel Zombies universe.
Nice.
And speaking of Tom Holland, he doesn't voice the character.
No?
No, I guess there was issues with certain actors because of schedules and the whole COVID situation
Yeah.
and contracts where they just couldn't get certain people to do the characters. Like they think episode 3 is what if Killmonger saved Tony Stark from the terrorists in the first Iron Man.
Oh, really? That
Yeah,
should be interesting.
yeah. So since Robert Downey Jr.'s contract was up with Marvel, he doesn't voice Tony Stark. Chris Evans didn't voice uh, Steve Rogers in the first one. It was someone that sounded like him.
Huh.
Yeah, so it was very interesting to see. Like, Dave Bautista didn't do Drax in this past episode. Scarlett Johansson didn't do it because her contract's fluid right now. So it was like a lot of people didn't like in scheduling conflicts, different things. So
I thought Chris Evans did do.
no, it was just someone who sounded like Chris Evans. I thought it was Chris Evans myself, but in the article it said like these certain people weren't available when they did the episodes, so
Yeah.
they weren't able to voice the characters. But
I liked how they said Bozeman, he was one of the first people to sign on, and he was one of the first people to record because he knew
he was gonna not be there when it aired.
Yeah, but to me, it has a special place in my heart. I just love those characters. I love the mixing. I love how the Collector was so badass. Like he was all buff, and he was like he was the Thanos. Thanos was a punk.
Yeah.
And they made fun of Thanos. They're like, "You're just like,
that's your side, brother."
That's your side. And he's just kind of like, "Well, you know,
well, it would work. It would work. It would make sense."
He's like a trucker who's just like, you know what we should do.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like, they made it. It was very cool the way they did it, and just even the fact that I think was also not only a tribute to Black Panther with Chadwick Boseman playing Black Panther, but it's also like a tribute to like Yondu's character.
Yeah, it was good to see him back.
He's so awesome he was, and like everyone wanted more Yondu, and so you got that. But
yeah, I mean, I loved it.
It was very well done, and Nebula's character was amazing.
Yeah,
but
she had the hair.
Yeah,
she had like a full blown.
Yeah, va 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 boom.
Va 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 boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm liking this here.
It was very well done.
The next one is Loki. Episode 3 is Loki.
Oh, the one I saw because I just saw a trailer for.
I just saw it
on YouTube. It was Tony Stark and Killmonger.
I don't know, Mark.
Let me see. Hold on.
What I'm looking at right now.
I just saw the thing for it too. Hold on.
Oh yeah, Josh Keaton played Steve Rogers.
Yeah,
just like him. No, what if episode 2 is what if Loki presents himself to the governments of Earth as king of Asgard using all his diplomacy? That's episode 3.
Okay.
That's what it says. Episode 6 has Tony Stark in it.
Oh, okay.
So it's got it. That's going to be episode 6.
All right.
It has Tony Stark giving the peace sign with the army guy from.
That's Killmonger.
Yeah.
I think it's either him or Rhodey. I can't remember which one is which.
Well, it's a white guy, so it's not. It's just some military dude.
Oh no, the one I saw was a different thing. So maybe that's
what episode 3 is. What if Loki?
Ah.
Episode 5 looks like to be a what if Thor. Episode 4 looks like Doctor Strange, but it's really hard to tell. Episode 7.
I think that's the one where it's what if Peter Parker became Doctor Strange?
Oh, episode 7 and 8 both look like to be zombies.
Yeah, I think it's a 2-part.
And then episode 9 is an alternative timeline. Vision becomes an all-powerful android known as the Infinity Ultron when merged with rival android Ultron. Now it's up to the newly formed Guardians of the Multiverse to put an end to his reign before it's too late. That's episode 9.
There you go.
So Infinite Ultron merges with the rival android Ultron.
Yeah.
No, Vision becomes an all no. Oh, so it's Vision and Ultron become
Yeah.
one. So that's I'm going on. I mean, there's descriptions for some, but then there's just a photo
Yeah.
on IMDb.
Yeah.
So, all right, Mark.
All right.
Anything else? I think that we've accomplished a podcast today.
We have. We have. It was a good
We
podcast.
got a lot of news.
I'm excited for what ifs. I know a lot of people aren't. Matt Ryan included.
He's the only one.
Oh man, let me tell you.
How do you not like? I mean, they're
He isn't
fun.
like that. They don't mean anything.
That makes no
That was
sense.
his reason behind it. When I asked him when we had a discussion about it, he's like, I don't like it because it doesn't mean anything. I'm like,
What do you mean? Here. This is what I'll say. If it means something to you, it means something. If it doesn't mean anything to him, then good. Don't.
Well, I
watch
said you
it.
don't know if it means anything until you find out it doesn't mean anything. Like just because it's it's like it could like all these stories could be leading towards something. Doesn't mean they are, but it's just these are what happened in Loki. I think like I'm just throwing my opinion out there. I think the things that happen in Loki have birthed the what ifs in this multiverse of all these different things that could happen.
Right.
And I think like all these are going to contribute to next season. You're going to see more of these what ifs, and then that'll lead into season 2 of Loki.
I mean, personally, I don't think there was any really big connection there.
No, not a big connection. I think the loose connection of this is like the reason why the what ifs are happening is because of what happened in Loki. He opened up the multiverse. So now all these timelines are possibilities because of what happened.
I see that. I agree. But
and that's why like getting everyone used to all these different timelines for when they end up doing them in the movies, like Quantumania, and if they touch it in Spider-Man, and in Doctor Strange's like the Battle of the Multiverse, or Multiverse of Madness. I think it's like a primer to get you all like used to like here's all these random weird things that could happen. So when you do might possibly see them in movies,
or you like, just enjoy it.
Why is
or you just enjoy it for what it is, and just turn off your brain for a half hour, enjoy some great animation and a fun story.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's like I don't read a comic or a graphic novel going, what's the point? Where
does this connect to?
What is this? It's got to connect to something.
It's like you also don't hop like my theory I said to him was like you go on like a roller coaster because you like this got to connect to something. I'm not gonna go on this theme park ride. Like I don't go to like Epcot and hop on the Frozen ride and go back and be like, I don't understand why we went on that ride. It doesn't connect to the movies at all.
Yeah.
Like where is it in the timeline? Where's this fall? Like I want to make sure like you ride the Guardians of the Galaxy ride when that opens, you're not gonna be like, oh, where was this in the Guardians timeline?
It's got to be connected.
I got to make sure I can like this is got to go here and that's gonna go right back into this. If it doesn't, it doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. That's very weird. I mean, well then I'm sure is he watching it?
No.
Well then who cares? I don't care if someone that's his prerogative.
Crazy old man.
Why do you care? If you don't like it, you don't like it. It's not a big deal.
These are arguments that he brings up with me, and I have to like discuss it with him.
Well, why is he arguing with you? If he doesn't like it, then just let it be.
That's sounds how our friendship is. That's what happens.
It sounds like he's obsessed with not liking it.
He's obsessed not liking many things.
I mean, I could say the same thing about wrestling. I did put wrestling on just to see what the hubbub was about, and I'm like, I lasted more than 5. I was like, I can't do this. This is so god horror. How do people like this?
Well, it's one of those things like with.
But I don't. It's not for me.
Well, no, I know that, but I'm saying I say to people all the time that say that like I jumped in and I don't understand anything that's going on, and I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. I'm like, well, it's like if I were to jump in to like Westworld now.
Okay, yeah, but
not
wrestling. TV shows, wrestling is just like
no, because it's all storylines. It's the same kind of thing. Like there's storylines.
I watch it. I saw 3 dudes talking like this,
Yeah.
over pronouncing and barely could speak. And then I watched wrestling and I'm like, I saw a match and I felt like it's the same match I could have watched last week or week before. It's the same fucking thing. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. So I turned it off. I gave it 5 minutes and it's not for me.
Not for you.
Not for me. But that's fine. It's okay.
Yeah. It's all right.
So if Matt Ryan doesn't like What If, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't harp on the fact that I don't like wrestling. But
well, it's because I think it's more of he likes Marvel. So he's like, well, I feel like I have to pay attention to this, even though I don't like it, because it might mean something.
It doesn't have, you don't have to pay attention.
I understand that. I'm just telling you what I think.
That's weird.
Yeah. Anyways, that's been a show. We gotta go. I got a work meeting coming up soon, so I gotta get ready for that.
All right, Mark.
We'll wrap it up. We'll see everyone back here next week. Anything going on soon? No, we got not much going on. It's still waiting on what's the next show coming that we're waiting on?
I don't know. I thought we were ending the show.
I know. I'm saying, like, I was just popped in my head. But anyways, we'll have something. We'll talk more What If next week.
Yeah.
News and other things. Hope everyone has a great week. And we'll see you all back here next Monday for another episode of Geekonomics. Bye, everybody.